Okay, rebuilding from your own Stripe for voice minutes. I'm going to show you setup for everything on here, kind of some prerequisites just to make sure everything's good with the migration stuff. Okay, so I'm in my workspace here, and I have my customer ID and my wallet set up. I have my minutes converted here. Everything is set up and good to go here. So I'm good on my wallet balance. And then on rebilling, I have my Stripe account OAuth. This is just an extra Stripe account I have here. This is the account that I'm going to use to OAuth into the system. Now I have those two things set up, and I have this sub account here that I want to rebuild for minutes because they're a high volume user, whatever the use case is, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on rebilling. Now, just to kind of show you from the aspect of this sub account, it's blank, it's new. You notice that they go here. There's no options for billing or anything, right? It's just happy-go-lucky. But I turn on rebilling here, and then they get a notification if they don't have a wallet set up or a customer ID, and then they now get this down here that just shows their wallet balance, right? Now, as an admin, there's a couple things that I can do because I'm OAuth into Stripe here. With my manage for rebilling, I can turn on and off for voice, and I can set my price per minute. This is what's going to be billed against their wallet balance. For this example, I'm just going to do $1. I may even bring it down to, or bring it up to 2, just to kind of, I guess I have it set at 1, just to kind of show pay down and everything like that. But you can set this at whatever you like, whatever you're billing your clients for voice. There you go, right? But I'm just going to do 1 for this example. If you want to give them a monthly allowance at the first of every month, like how GoHighLevel has, where you can give them some sort of allowance, at the beginning of every month, whatever, you could put that in here. For this one, I'm just going to leave it at 0. And because this is your Stripe, you may already have a customer ID for these people that are paying you, right? So you can go ahead and put it in here if you already have it, or you can just let our system collect it, whichever you would like. Doesn't matter. If you already have a customer ID, you can just slap it in there. It works. The only thing we'll do is ask them to, put in a card, collect the card, and good to go. Now, because also this is your world, right? You can add balance if you want to. So in the sub account, I can come here and I can add $2 of balance, and then there we go. We have $2 of balance now in that wallet. Okay, so we have a couple settings here for doing this, and you can turn this off, which even if rebilling is on, they have a wallet, you can turn off rebilling for voice, right? So I have all that stuff on, right? It's down here in the manage rebilling. All of my stuff is configured here. Now, if I go here, right, as the sub account as the client, I see that I have to set up my wallet. I now have this balance thing down here. You can see the balance of $2 that I added. But I can click on whichever one of these, and I get a billing tab here, right? I go to the billing tab, and I don't really have a customer ID. We didn't get it from the other one. I don't have a wallet balance here. And so what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll go ahead and add a balance. And you saw that it went ahead and created me a customer ID from my Stripe. And so if I go to this Stripe that I have here and go to customer, you can see here I am here. It just created me in my other Stripe there. And I don't have a balance yet, and I don't have a card on file. So if I click either one of these two things, it's going to ask me to add a card. I'm going to go ahead and add my card just for the example. Okay, so you saw that was the branded as Rocket Flow, which is the Stripe that was OAuth. So this is all going to be your branding, all your Stripe, everything like that. When I tried to enable automatic payment because I didn't have a payment attached to the account, even though I had a customer ID, what I went ahead and did was just took me to the portal where all you do is put in card information and you're brought back. So now I can come here and I can do my auto pay. So I can set my wallet balance. I can set, when my balance gets below $10, refill it with $10, etc. Here, for this example, we'll just do 10 and 10, right? And I can also add balance here if I want to, right? And this charges right to your Stripe. So even if I did, $10 in this example, it'll take me back to Rocket Flow, right? So this is Rocket Flow Stripe. I can go ahead and pay here. And once I pay, this will go through and you'll see that the balance is then added into my wallet as a sub account. And then also the transaction will be in my OAuth Stripe, right? Not in the platform Stripe or anything. This is all done via me. So we see my balances in there. We see a transaction history in here from the admin edition plus the paid for balance there, right? We don't have any voice going through here, so nothing to charge for yet. And then if we go into Rocket Flow, which is my additional Stripe, we see, the $10 there that we just did, or there we go. So the $10 there. Now, as the user begins to make calls, right, it'll start to pay down this balance. So as I make calls, this balance is paid down, and you'll get transactions here. So you can see an example in my workspace, which will begin to populate, and everyone else's. So when there's a call processed at the agency level, right, you'll get billed to 7 cents per minute. Easy going, very, very scalable, right? Made a ton of calls, only $2. But say I have this one that's set up. This is one of my sub accounts that I have a ridiculous amount, for I think I have $1 for this one too, right? Where I'm getting billed, $1 for that usage, and this wallet balance is still going back to that rocket flow stripe, right? And so now if we give to the example of I'm under 25, I'm going to refill it with 25 here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple calls, and we'll run this balance down, and you'll get to kind of see how that looks right there. So I'm making a call right now just so you can kind of see it live. Hello, what's going on?
Not much, Harold. I wanted to chat about your business and see how we can help. Do you have a website I can check out?
Yep, you can go to google.com.
Thanks, Harold. Google is a powerhouse. How are you currently driving traffic to your business?
Mostly Facebook ads, sometimes cold traffic, sometimes we just be cold calling, whatever we can do to drum up some business,
Got it. You're really hustling with a mix.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to end the call, right? So I ended that call, wasn't very long. And then you'll notice here, as this starts to populate, there's my dollar rebill to this wallet, right? The wallet was brought down that amount. And you see in the agency the same thing, the difference in the pricing, right? And so in the same way that your wallet will refill, once you kind of set these metrics here, and I'll give some higher metrics too for those who are doing higher volume so you don't get hit with charges all day, the sub account is now getting hit the same. Now I'm going to automatically just put mine down to like $25, and then we'll make a call, and you'll kind of see the rebill or the automatic refill process happen. Just in the back end, I set mine to 25. So I have my balance set right here. When it gets below 25, it's going to refill with 25. This is done via my Rocket Flow Stripe here. So I'm going to make an AI call, hopefully over a minute here, and then we'll kind of see all this stuff happen.
Hi, Harold. This is Haley from...
Yeah, can you give me just straight up pricing?
I'd be happy to help with that. Could you clarify what specific pricing you're looking for? AI tools, GoHighLevel, or something else?
Mostly just the AI tools associated. So I'm trying to make tons and tons of calls, trying to just change the industry. You know what I mean?
Got it, Harold. You're looking to help scale your calls and disrupt the industry. Are you currently using any AI tools for this, or are you starting fresh?
Yeah, we use some pretty advanced stuff. I mean, we use ChatGPT, we probably use Canva, and we use, I think, this conversational AI that's in our CRM. And so we're like cutting edge, you know what I mean?
Sounds like you're already leveraging some great tools. What is it about your current setup that's making you explore other AI solutions?
Mostly just wanting to just take over the industry. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I get it. You're aiming to dominate. Are you currently using GoHighLevel in your CRM setup?
Of course I am. All right, so I'm going to end the call. There we go. It was over a minute. And so you'll see from the sub account perspective here, kind of in the same way, right? So it was processed under 25 and then rebuild my 25, right? So it was $1 for that amount, right? For that call, it was 1 minute 29 seconds. They were billed 1 minute 29 seconds. And by the way, before questions come up, this is still to the millisecond. It's just even in these rounded up just to the nearest number. Even on wallet balances, it's to the millisecond, but there would be so many decimal points. It's no point, right? You saw it put me under my 25 balance and then refilled me with 25. And if I go on my Rocket Flow Stripe, I see, boom, awesome transaction, $25. I can see automated recharge wallet balance credit fill worth $25 for prod, which is the name of the sub account. These credits will be used for XYZ. And then it even gives me, if I have questions about billing, it gives me my sub account link here that I can go to and brings me right back here. So if clients have a question, whatever, it just brings them right to the portal where they'll see everything. And then again, as a workspace, you saw the same call processed, minute 29 seconds is 9 cents against my wallet balance here, right? So there is wallet balances. I'm sure just as things roll out and as I find how people set things up, we'll make changes as coming in. But there is there's Stripe rebilling for voice minutes, so that you can go out and you can make margin on those minutes and be able to do very, very well as a calling deployment. So you don't have to do this manually. You don't have to do this in a Stripe that you don't want to do it in. This is all via your Stripe. Makes it super, super easy. Like I said, I'm sure we'll find some ways that we need to make it more efficient as far as setting things up, notifications and things like that. We'll have the resend API in for email sending and templates and all, but it should be pretty good on that front from both sides. And you see all transactions accounted for adding minutes and taking away minutes, etc., is all in here. And even as a workspace, you can see all of mine for the month all through here, right? So all of that's accounted for, all that's good to go. And this is, again, they only see this on rebilling sub-accounts. So if, like these other sub-accounts that are making calls, they're not going to get charged. They're not being rebuilt, right? But the ones that are being rebuilt, I have rebilling on, and I have all these settings here, then it's good to go. Now, in the same way, I can still come here and I can manage the rebilling. I can add some balance if I want to, whatever it is. I want to refresh the page here. That's the wrong sub account, sorry. But if I want to manage the rebilling, I can see their wallet balance. If me as an agency is feeling super kind, super good, want to add some balance to their wallet, cool, I can do it. Again, you're Stripe, you do what you want. That it doesn't charge you. You're just kind of adding to their balance. You know what I mean? And if I have a customer ID for them, this one is just a random one we generate, just for the idea to be able to bill. But, if there's a scenario where you would rather, put in the one that you already have, throw it in there. Now, when it comes to the products and transactions and things like that are here, these will be updated later in the day for the SaaS version of this. But I want to get rebilling out because these minutes are starting to accrue in wallets now. With the rebilling kind of turning on later in today. It was on for just a minute, but giving everybody kind of a little bit here to acclimate to it, get everybody familiar with the system, and then that stuff will start to happen. But that's how all that works. If you have any questions, leave comments below. Any feedback, happy to change and make better of what we need to do so that you can serve your clients better, so that you can make extra money as an agency. But here is how everything works, and you kind of saw it happen live here. And again, everything is accounted for in a transaction. So if there's anything that we need to do, change, whatever, we can do that. All this is done via Stripe OAuth too. So we get the webhooks. It should be all good to go. So that's how it works. You're free to go ahead and set it up as long as you have an OAuth Stripe, right? This right here will be available to you to turn on rebilling, manage rebilling, and do the whole process. I'll have some stuff to do it at scale later, so it's not just like individual, but for right now, just as we're testing, we're going to make sure it works. And again, as this kind of happens later, wallet balance will be a thing, right? Refill my wallet with this. So if you haven't done the conversion, I'd do the conversion if I were you, because it's not going to happen again today because I want to give you adequate time and everything for it. But, as we start to go into prod with this system, which it's kind of there now, again, just the idea of transition here, these will not only account for like the billing of the account, right? So if you have multiple calls going, it runs down pretty quick, especially if you're doing a huge call deployment, call center, things like that. But also be wary of in the future if the wallet balance is not up to date or whatever it may be, or there's no balance at the sub account level or the workspace level, that could affect calls going out or being denied because there's no wallet balance or a past due wallet balance for those calls going out. Cool. I'm trying to think of what else. Anything to do with the sub accounts on rebilling, we don't touch. It really is just going through your Stripe. We're just kind of doing it on behalf of you, and the same trigger that we do it with ours. And so we don't touch any portion of that. We don't get a portion of that. That is all you. You keep it, have fun, make some money, and I'm trying to think what else. You don't have to pay if you do this. Again, like this is your Stripe, this is your money. So if you go and add balance to a client's account for whatever reason, however you want to do it. That there's no cost for that, right? But as far as like right now, we'll probably have it in the future. But if you do add balance to a wallet, you can't take away balance because a client may have paid for some minutes and whatever, and we don't want you, pulling that from them. And then there's a whole thing, right? So everything's accounted for via a transaction system, all native to Stripe and everything. And then you'll start to see these, populate as these things come through for, calls that you're making, whatever it may be, right? And so if you don't want someone to pay for rebilling, you don't want to do all that, you don't have to. You don't. You can turn this on if you want to. But minutes, as far as the deployment inside the workspace, will start to get billed to the workspace specifically. So as these things go through, just make sure you keep on top of that. If you want to rebuild your clients, there you go. Obviously, if you can kind of just see some slight changes, have some other updates to share today, like the Haley widget making a comeback, notification system for things internal to the system, wallet balances, things like that. So there you go. Rebuilding in a nutshell. Give it a crack. Let me know what you see and how we can make it better. And then you will get your subscription, the SaaS enablement for the sub accounts, and not just rebilling, but being able to make them pay a subscription fee will be coming up very, very soon. So happy Tuesday.